The Dancing Plague 1518. Welcome back. In the summer of 1518, in the bustling city of Strasbourg, something unthinkable happened. A woman walked into the street and began to dance. Not with joy, not with music, and not with control. She danced endlessly, as if trapped in an invisible force. Within days, dozens followed. Then hundreds. They danced until their feet bled, until their bodies collapsed, and many, until death. This event would go down in history as one of humanity's strangest mysteries, the Dancing Plague.
Part 1. The outbreak begins. English. The story began in July 1518, when a woman named Frau Troffea stepped into a narrow street of Strasbourg. Without warning, she started to dance. Her movements were wild, uncontrolled, and terrifying. At first, people laughed. They thought she was joking, or perhaps mocking the townsfolk. But soon, their laughter turned into fear, because she would not stop. For hours, she danced without rest. Then a day passed, then another. By the end of the week, she had danced for nearly 7 days straight. She collapsed from exhaustion, only to rise again and continue moving as if compelled by something beyond human strength. Within days, 30 more people joined her. Some were young, some old, men and women alike, all moving without control. It was as if an invisible hand had gripped the city and forced its people into a nightmare ballet. By the end of the first month, over 100 people were seen in the streets, dancing against their will. The heat of summer, the dust of the roads, and the cries of their families filled the city with horror. This was no celebration. It was the beginning of one of the most mysterious epidemics in history.
Part 2. The Dance of Death. As the weeks passed, Strasbourg turned into a nightmare. What began with a single woman now spread to hundreds. Men, women, even children, all trapped in the same terrifying rhythm. Their bodies moved without pause, without mercy. Witnesses described people dancing until their shoes were soaked in blood. Some collapsed from pure exhaustion, only to twitch and rise again, as if puppets on invisible strings. Others suffered strokes and heart attacks in the streets. Death became a silent partner in the dance. By August, over 400 people were reported to be in the grip of the plague. The city square became a stage of horror. Families begged for help, but no doctor could explain what was happening. The more people watched, the more the dancers multiplied, as if fear itself was contagious. The sound of footsteps, gasping breaths, and cries of pain filled Strasbourg. This was no ordinary illness. It was a dance of death.
Part 3. Reactions of authorities and church. As the plague of dance consumed Strasbourg, the city's leaders grew desperate. Doctors were summoned, but their knowledge could not explain the madness. Some claimed it was hot blood, that the body was overheated and could only be cured by more dancing. This bizarre theory led officials to make a shocking decision. Instead of stopping the epidemic, they encouraged it. Large guild halls and wooden stages were built in the city center. Musicians and drummers were hired to play continuously. The idea was to let the dancers exhaust themselves and be cured. But the plan backfired horribly. The music only fueled the frenzy. The sound of drums and fiddles echoed through Strasbourg, and more people joined in. The plague spread faster than before. The church, on the other hand, believed the dancing plague was divine punishment for sins. Priests declared that the afflicted must repent. Some processions were held, prayers offered, and saints invoked, especially Saint Vitus, the patron saint associated with dancing and epilepsy. Victims were even taken to shrines dedicated to him, hoping for miracles. Yet nothing worked. The dancing only grew more violent, and the city drowned in fear and confusion.
Part 4. The Spread of Madness. As the days turned into weeks, the strange plague showed no signs of stopping. More than 100 people were now caught in the madness. The streets of Strasbourg echoed with the sound of footsteps, pounding endlessly against the cobblestones. Witnesses described the dancers as if they were under a spell, their bodies moving without control, their eyes vacant, their lips murmuring silent prayers, or sometimes screaming in agony. Doctors and priests tried everything they could imagine. Some believed the illness was caused by overheated blood, and so they recommended strange remedies like bloodletting or placing the sick in cold water. Others said it was a curse sent by the saints, especially Saint Vitus, the patron saint of dancers. The church ordered rituals, masses, and processions, but still, the dancers kept moving. The madness spread from one street to another. Mothers abandoned their children, husbands ignored their wives, and workers left their trades. Even the city council grew terrified, for every attempt to stop the dance seemed to fail. Musicians were even hired, with the thought that if people danced enough, the illness would leave their bodies. But this only made the scene more horrific. Now, the sound of drums, flutes, and fiddles filled the air, pushing the exhausted victims to dance harder, until their legs broke, or they collapsed foaming at the mouth. The city turned into a living nightmare. Imagine walking through Strasbourg at night, torches burning on the streets, hundreds of men and women dancing uncontrollably, the smell of sweat, blood, and sickness filling the air. Their cries echoed like ghosts. Some laughed as if mad, others wept as though tortured. Many fell dead where they stood, their bodies trampled by the feet of those still dancing. The authorities grew desperate. What was this strange punishment? Was it divine anger, a disease of the mind? Or perhaps the devil himself had taken hold of Strasbourg? Panic consumed the entire city. Fear spread faster than the plague itself. Every citizen wondered, would I be the next to dance myself to death?
Part 5. The tragic end. The plague of dancing reached its peak in late August. By now, hundreds were collapsing daily. Families wept as their loved ones spun endlessly, unable to stop, their feet bleeding, their muscles tearing, their bodies refusing rest. It was as if the dance was stronger than human will itself. The city council, desperate for answers, decided on one last measure. They ordered that the victims be taken to a holy shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus, located in Saverne, just outside Strasbourg. The belief was simple: if this was the curse of Saint Vitus, only he could lift it. The victims, barely alive, were carried or dragged to the shrine. There, priests prayed over them, sprinkling holy water and pressing crucifixes against their trembling bodies. Some were forced to wear red shoes, the color associated with Saint Vitus. The ritual was both eerie and hopeful. Slowly, some of the dancers began to calm. Their trembling stopped. Their exhausted eyes closed. They collapsed into unconsciousness, finally free from the curse. But not everyone was saved. Dozens had already perished. Their deaths were gruesome: strokes, heart attacks, dehydration, starvation. Historians estimate that hundreds died in this mysterious plague. Strasbourg was left in mourning, haunted by the memory of bodies spinning uncontrollably in the streets. For years afterward, the city feared the return of the dancing plague. Families whispered prayers at night, warning children never to disrespect the saints. Some believed the devil might strike again. Others thought the madness had been born from famine, sickness, or poisoned bread infected with a strange fungus. Even today, more than 500 years later, historians cannot agree on the true cause. Was it mass hysteria, ergot poisoning, religious frenzy, or something beyond human understanding? The truth remains hidden, locked in the shadows of history. What is certain is this: in the summer of 1518, Strasbourg became the stage for one of the strangest tragedies ever recorded, where joy and death danced hand in hand, until the music of madness finally stopped.
The echo of the dance. And so, the mystery of the dancing plague of 1518 remains unsolved. What truly happened on those hot summer streets of Strasbourg may never be fully known. Was it a curse, a disease, or simply the madness of the human mind? What we do know is that history has rarely witnessed such a terrifying event, where men, women, and children danced until their bodies gave out, until laughter turned into screams, until life itself slipped away. The story of the dancing plague is a reminder that the human mind is both powerful and fragile. It shows us how fear, faith, and desperation can shape reality in ways beyond imagination. Even today, when we walk through the streets of Strasbourg, some say they can still hear faint footsteps echoing in the silence of the night, as if the dancers of 1518 never truly stopped. So, the question remains, what if one day, the music of madness begins again? Please like, subscribe. My Mysterium is.
I'm John, and with me is my co-host Sophie. Today, we took you on another mysterious journey, into the shadows of the unknown. If you liked this video or discovered something new, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel Mysterium is. Every like and comment gives us the energy to explore even deeper mysteries and bring you stories the world has forgotten. Your opinion matters to us, so share your thoughts in the comments section below. Tell us what you think really happened, or which mystery you'd like us to uncover next. Maybe your idea will become our next big story. I'm John, with Sophie, signing off for now. But remember, the truth is out there, and together, we'll find it. Stay curious, stay mysterious, crystal ball.